Hello everyone. So yesterday was my first day at my new job. I got hired as a personal assistant for a rich family. The dad is in his early 40s, the mom is in her late 30s, and they have a 16-year-old daughter. Everything went well yesterday until I had to go pick up their daughter from school. When I arrived at the school, I was shocked, because it was one of the most expensive private schools in the area. All the parents were either driving luxury cars or were there to pick up their kids in luxury SUVs. When I finally found the daughter, who was standing next to a very expensive-looking sports car, I introduced myself and asked her to get into my car so I could drive her home. She looked me up and down, then burst out laughing. "You're kidding, right? You seriously expect me to get into that piece of junk with you? No way." I felt humiliated, but I kept my cool. "I'm sorry. What was that?" "Oh, I'm sorry," she said with a sneer. "I thought we had a bet going on who would be the last to show up to pick up their daughter. And I thought you were trying to win it." Then she turned around and got into her car without another word. I couldn't believe how rude she was, but I didn't have time to argue. So I just got into my car and left the school. On my way home, I called the husband to let him know that his daughter was being a problem child. He told me not to worry about it and that he would deal with it when he got home. Well, today was the first day that I had to pick up the daughter from school again. And as soon as I arrived, I saw that she was standing next to the same car. This time, however, her parents were with her. As I got out of my car, the mother came up to me and said, "I heard from our daughter that you gave her a hard time yesterday. Is that true?" "No, ma'am, it's not true. Your daughter is the one who gave me a hard time yesterday. She refused to get into my car and said that it's a piece of junk." The mom looked at me and then at her daughter, who was now looking at the ground. She then turned back to me and said, "I apologize for the way that she treated you yesterday. She can be a handful sometimes." Then the dad stepped in. "Don't worry about it. I already talked to her about it." I nodded, even though I was still a bit angry. "So are you going to drive her home today?" the mom asked. "Yes, ma'am, but where is her car?" The mom and dad looked at each other and then back at me. "What car?" they asked in unison. I explained that yesterday, when I arrived at the school, I saw her standing next to a very expensive-looking sports car. It was a silver Ferrari F430, if I remember correctly. The dad's face turned red, and he started yelling. "Get out of here right now!" he screamed at me. "What did you say?" I asked. He repeated himself. "Get out of here, right now," still yelling. I turned to the mother, who was now looking at her husband in disbelief. "I think you should let me finish my shift and then I will leave." The dad calmed down a bit and said, "I'll pay you for today and tomorrow, but you won't be needed anymore after that." Before I could respond, he shoved a wad of cash into my hand and forced me to take it. I knew that I couldn't win against him, so I just took the money and said, "All right, I'll leave." As I was walking away, I heard the mom scream at the dad, "How dare you treat this young man like that? He did nothing wrong," but he just yelled back. That doesn't change the fact that he lied to us. It wasn't until I got home that I realized that he was referring to my car. I think he assumed that I was driving some cheap car, because I am just a lowly personal assistant. So I decided to teach them a little lesson. The next day, I got to work early so I could drive up in style. As soon as I arrived, the mom came running out of the house. "Oh, thank God you're here. I need you to run to the grocery store real quick and pick up some things for me." I left the list on the counter. "Sure thing, ma'am." I grabbed the list and headed to the door. "And please, hurry up. We're expecting some guests in about an hour." "Okay, I'll hurry back." As I walked out the door, I smiled, because I knew that when I came back, I would be greeted by surprised faces. I drove to the local Rolls-Royce dealership and rented a brand new Rolls-Royce Phantom drophead for the afternoon. When I returned home, I put on a nice white shirt and black pants and waited for them to come out. A few minutes later, they all came out. And when they saw me standing next to the Rolls-Royce, their jaws dropped. The daughter looked at me and then at the car and back at me again. She couldn't believe it. I opened the door for the mother and she got in without saying a word. Then I closed the door and went around to the other side to get in. When they were all seated, we left the house and headed towards the city. I drove past their daughter's school so she could see me arriving in style. When she saw me, she rolled down her window and yelled, "Hey loser, you're driving a nice car today." I just smiled and waved at her. This is karma for treating others like trash. People always say that only bad people drive luxury cars, but I'm living proof that that's not always true. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. If you liked this story, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Thanks for watching. See you next time.